Good morning, everyone, or whatever time of the day it is for you. Doesn't really matter, does it? Point being is it's morning for me, and I'm gonna have an eventful morning this morning. In fact, today I'm gonna get to witness something that's relatively rare. It happens, say, once every about 15 to 20 years. Today, we are getting a brand new one of these, and we're also getting a brand new indoor unit right now as well. Luckily enough though, we've actually haven't had to deal with too many hot nights. It got a little warm a couple of nights, but for the most part, we were able to get everything done really quickly. Only had a couple of bad nights and slept pretty well. But let's see if we can go take a look at the indoor unit. And this is the indoor air handling unit here. As you can see up here is the ductwork that goes into the house. Breakfast is done. The steam from the coffee is now off the lens, and you can see me a little bit more clear now. That was delicious. So, got a couple of projects today. One of the projects I got going on right now is this shelf right here, where we keep our art supplies out on the patio. You can kind of see here, I'll show you. Kind of starting to rot a little bit, and so what we did is we went out and we got a brand new metal shelf. And we are done with the shelf. And moving on to the yard. As you can see here, I did not complete the yard, but there's a good reason for that. It's right in that room over there. Just a couple of the projects I have today. Y'all, look how good this is looking right now. Brand new unit. Kevin had been working on this, has been working on this all morning. I saw him welding earlier. Man, it's just so amazing. And there is a frog burrowing into the ground there. I'm not certain exactly. I mean, no science lesson here, folks, but I will say this much. There are a lot of frogs who, I do remember this from science class, there are a lot of frogs that burrow into the ground. Can you see it? I don't know if you can or not. Maybe it'll move. They will burrow into the ground. They'll hibernate into the ground. YouTube that, but yeah, some frogs will burrow into the ground, or maybe it's coming out of a burrow. Maybe it's warm enough now, and or maybe it was hiding from the I don't know, but there are frogs that do burrow into the ground and hibernate, and it's just so amazing, you know. I mean, I was talking to Kevin earlier, and it's just, even as an attorney, there's things I don't think about. And I'd asked him earlier, like, can we replace that unit outside and then replace the unit inside, maybe split the cost or something like that? And he's explaining to me, you could do it that way, but if you did it that way, you'd have to replace the outside unit again because of code reasons. And that's just something that I just didn't even think about. So a lot of the people that are working on the stuff around your house or your car or whatnot, you gotta keep in mind, there's a lot they have to know that you don't think about on a daily basis. One of the things I'll say is if you don't do it properly and they come by and they inspect it, guess what? You're in a world of trouble, because I'm not gonna give you the amount of money all this cost, but it's more than you wanna give up just because you made a mistake and you didn't do things the right way. And that's why I'm appreciative of people like Kevin, because they know how to do it the right way. They know that when it comes by and it gets inspected, that we can rely on their work. As you go throughout, I guess even throughout this quarantine, understand there are people out there who are still, you know, providing services and goods to you that you need and that are beneficial to you. And it may not be AC but it may be something else. I mean, it may be something important to you. They're still working hard. They've got to have a lot of knowledge and make certain they do things the right way. I don't know, maybe you're people who provide food to you. You go down to the grocery store, there's a certain way that that food has to be delivered. It has to live up to certain standards, and they're responsible for doing that properly. We got a lot of things to worry about right now, but that's one less thing we have to worry about. Knowing that your food's going to be fine and not contaminated is one less thing you have to worry about. All right, so we almost got the entire unit in. Kevin's still working on it. There's one thing I want to show you here. This unit has an efficiency ratio, a SEER rating of 14, and you'll see here that it says least efficient and the most efficient is 30.5. You know what's cool about that is the unit that we took out, it actually back in the day when it was put in about 15 years ago, actually had one of the most efficient ratios you could have for heating and cooling. This unit here is about 50%, close to 50% more efficient, and today it's considered one of the least efficient units. Now, there's a lot of reasons why we went with the 14 SEER and not a 30 SEER, and a big part of it is me talking with Kevin and just going over the pros and cons of the more efficient units, and basically it came down to the fact that we didn't need to buy our Lamborghini of an AC unit in order to heat and cool this house. There's a lot of things you got to keep in mind when you're buying new things, and part of that is whether or not you actually need, say, the most efficient or the top quality of something. And it just came down to the fact there comes a point where you start wasting your money on things that you don't need. There's an argument to be said that if we got a more efficient unit, it may have paid for itself over time. However, the amount that we would get in return would barely justify itself, and we'd have to run it and keep it for about 15, 20 years at least, even to begin to see for it to pay for itself. So just economically, it wasn't worth spending an extra $4,000 or $5,000, and that's why we kind of went with that unit right there, and it's gonna work way better than the unit that we had. I just thought it was cool that we're looking at things nowadays, and you can see examples of it all over the place, where something that's considered the least efficient or entry-level models these days could be 50%, even twice as good as what was considered top of the line 15 years ago. You're going to see that with computers. I'm seeing that with this AC unit. Really what it comes down to, you got to ask yourself, why are you doing it? What do you need it for? I'll say one thing though, the work that Kevin's been doing today has been top of the line. I'll say if you ever need somebody to put in a AC unit for you or something of that nature, you need some AC work done, I'll let you know who to call. And I bring up this point about the AC being the least efficient unit model now as opposed to what the most efficient unit was 15 years ago, not as a negative, but to illustrate to you something that's important. And that is, as you go out and you're buying things and you're looking at things, sometimes people are going to try to sell you things that you don't need. And what they're going to do is they're going to put more money in the pockets of the manufacturers and more money in somebody else's pocket for something that isn't going to give you much of a benefit at all. Just because you look at something and it says something along the lines of entry-level model or least efficient, don't necessarily take that as a negative. It may be more than what you need. My advice to you would be to go and to do the research and to work out the math and figure out what it is exactly that you need. Now, luckily for me, my friend Kevin was able to help me out with all of that research and has been in this business for a very long time. And you got to keep in mind, when people are trying to sell you something, they're always going to try to upsell you. And they're always going to use terms that are going to gear you toward buying something that perhaps isn't something that's necessary for you. So we are almost done. Oh, I'm standing on this chair. Okay, hopefully it doesn't break on me. We are almost done with everything, but I was talking to Kevin Glassford. That's the guy who's doing all this work for us. And doing an excellent job. He's telling me one of the longest parts of the process is actually this part right here, where he is making certain that this is the intake area, I guess is what they call it, or I guess the intake's down there, but this is the part where I guess it sends the air out, the outtake, to the rest of the house. And this part here has got to be airtight. He made certain to take the extra time And I'm gonna get down off this rock chair real quick. Whenever he puts in units and he does work, he takes pride in his work, and that's just something that, like I talked about in the van vlog the other day, in regards to what's fun, like what type of work would be the most fun, and I mentioned that, you know, work that you can take pride in, work that you can be proud of, and I'll say that we're really appreciative of it. And I don't know, I mean, everybody's different. I'm not gonna call anybody out and say anybody's gonna do a bad job or anything like that. Just in my experience in working with people that provide services and goods. I've seen it with my mom, I've seen it with my mother-in-law. We've had people come by and do work on the house, little things here and there, and I'll say Kevin's done an excellent job, but some people cut corners. I've seen that before. I hear these really bad stories. You may hear these horror stories of people doing work for you and things going wrong. Well, for example, my mom one time, she hired these painters and they didn't do what they should have done, and they ruined like thousands of dollars worth of furniture. And it's because they were trying to cut corners and make a quick dollar. And unfortunately, there's gonna be people out there like that. I guess they're just gonna prey upon people. If you need AC work done, I recommend Kevin Glassford and AC Wizards. Just top-notch work, top-notch. I mean, and when he heard that I had an infant, he worked through lunch. He's been putting the extra mile in with all of this. Really appreciative of that. You know, it's been a great day. I mean, we have AC now. It's blowing cool air. I mean, what else more? What more could we ask for? And I just feel, among many things that have come in my lifetime and just many blessings that have been poured over us, I just feel so fortunate to have people around to help us out and to be in a position where my window's open. I saw that, I gotta close that window. To be in a position where we have these blessings, and it's just so amazing. And sometimes you take things for granted, and luckily we weren't at the height of the summer and the hottest days. It's just feel so fortunate, and just something that I'm gonna try to express on this channel as I go throughout making these videos. So I finally got around to getting the yard mowed. Yeah, when you have a infant that has a sporadic sleep schedule, which is something we're working on, you just gotta take those windows of opportunity to get what you need to get done. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap up the vlog there. Hopefully you've got some enjoyment out of this. Maybe something sparked your interest, and if it did, feel free to leave a comment, hit the like button, or the dislike button. Maybe you don't like anything in this video. Maybe you don't like my hair. I don't like my hair right now. Okay, maybe my hair's better now, and maybe you should hit the like button because of that. Feel free to subscribe. You can click the subscribe button down here. Watch one of my videos here, or another one of my videos here. Thanks again for watching.